And everyone, Tom Grisafi, Agbo Media, the Agbo podcast, the Agbo Trading. Well, we're going live. It's 8:30 on a Wednesday night. We're going to pull up some charts. We're going to go over that famous Trump tweet, that True Social today. That didn't go over too well with my friends in agriculture, especially ranchers. It just didn't sit well with so many of us. We'll talk about that. Now, if you're out there, don't be afraid to join the chat, join the conversation, retweet this stream, tell people about what we're doing. We're live on X, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube. Looks like there's about 50 of you. We just started out there, but do let people know. Now, uh, I don't have it set up tonight where I could take calls. Normally I can, but you can get a hold of us, 1-855-737 farm, but I won't be able to answer during the show. A little bit later in the show, we'll have some charts up. We'll talk about cattle. We'll have the 50-day moving average up, the 100-day moving average. We'll go over gold and silver, talk about those markets, look at corn and beans a little bit. Nonetheless, some exciting news. I do want to talk about, we have a new website, and I'm super duper excited about that. www.agbull.com. If you go to agbull.com, you can see what we're doing over there. Now, we have a couple things we're doing. We have commodity brokerage and we have premium content. Of course, like this live stream tonight's free because we enjoy doing it, but we're doing a lot of private shows with private people and putting out a lot of good information. But this is how you sign up for premium. www.agbull.com, $25 a month, cancel anytime, $250 a year. And we're really having fun onboarding people with that. We'd love to see you on the premium side. And that's good stuff. A couple shows that you don't have to pay for. I bet you noticed every Friday we go live with Mr. Jim Wiesmeyer. That is free. Mr. Wiesmeyer does not want people paying for that. He wants people to enjoy his content, and he is one of the best. If you'd like Jim's information, we'll show you how to do that. My brother Joe is also here with us. He's sitting in the back. He may pop in, or you may hear his voice. Joe, you can hear me okay?
Hear you great.
Oh, there he is, brother Joe. Joe Grisafi, my partner at Ag Bull Trading. Ag Bull Trading, we are a DBA. We are associated persons of Nesvick Trading Group. All right, with that, let's go over the agenda. New website, check. Talk about the markets. We'd be silly not to tell you that feeder cattle went limit down in a lot of the months today. We had extreme volatility today in the stock market. We had extreme volatility. I don't know about extreme. We had a nice pop in crude oil today based on that the United States government's filling up strategic reserve. And crude oil right now is up a bunch more here tonight. So crude oil is up like another $1.60 based on Trump being in a beef here with Russia. So with that, let me see how much more crude is up tonight. Crude oil is up another dollar something. So some good things over there. I'll pull up the charts here in a little bit. Crude oil up another $1.44. All right. We have some people joining the conversation. Ask us a question, and I'll check over for comments here. Ask us a question, and we'll do our best to answer that. With that, we have the markets, and let's just jump right in the show here. Talk about that Trump tweet. That didn't go well, and I saw it, Joe. I saw it, and I was like, God damn, did he just say that? It just didn't. Let's read it for those of you sitting in back who can't see it here. Didn't sit well with some of us. All right. Well, the headline after work is U.S. seeks to quadruple beef purchases from Argentina. We could talk about that in a little bit because that's half a joke. We don't buy that much beef from Argentina. In the quadruple, something you don't do much of is really no big deal. But they're talking down beef prices. They're coming out with plans. They're scaring the heck out of people. This didn't sit well. This was from the president. I don't think someone else wrote this for him. The cattle ranchers, who I love, don't understand that the only reason they are doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put the tariffs on cattle coming in the United States, including a 50% tariff on Brazil. If it weren't for me, they would be doing just like they've done for the last 20 years. Terrible. It would be nice if they would understand that, but they would have to get their prices down because consumer is a very big factor in my thinking also. So President Trump pretty much made a decision for the 99.9% of Americans who aren't cattle ranchers, and he's going to get Secretary USDA to help him out right here. Rollins came out with the plan later. Brooke Rollins, nice gal, met her personally. I like her. A lot of people, her nickname is Trump, Trump in a skirt. I mean, she is playbook, very loyal to President Trump, and she'll do anything to push the ag agenda, but she's consistently saying ag's going through its greatest boom ever, greatest time ever, and lot of various signals coming out of her. A lot of people disappointed. So Trump puts out this tweet: cattle go limit down. He did tell us on Air Force One on last week or Sunday that he might cut a deal with Argentina. He might do something. But the real big news, keep an eye out for this. It's not the Argentina news, in my opinion. That's not the big one. The big news is Trump says he wants to. Trump says he has plans to temper beef prices. That was put in our program last week. That actual headline was put in there last week. He said he had plans to temper beef prices. The big news would be if when President Trump meets with President of Brazil next week, and when that happens, if yeah, sure, we're talking about U.S. and Argentina. But if Trump and Brazil can get something done, if Trump takes the tariffs off of Brazil, we instantly will go down really hard here in beef. And the reason being is that that supply chain's all ready to go. Well, that's not hard to open up that gate and make that work. Whereas bringing beef in from Argentina, that's just not something we do. So, am I an expert on this? No, but in the mornings at Nesvick Trading Group, we are part of a phone call where they talk about this, and brother Joe helped me out here. We probably talk about cattle every morning from 7:45 till about what, 8:05, 8:10 every single day.
805, 810, yep.
Yeah, we got Mike Sands, and for those of you who don't know, I don't have the slide up, but we do a show called Fat Tuesday with Mike Sands, and you can catch that out on the Ag Bull website. Fat Tuesday podcast. That's in the next few months moving over to the private paid side. So Mike Sands is an expert in cattle. He's been around for 40 years. Mike Sands and Jim Wiesmeyer used to work together a long time ago at Sparks and Informa and all these other Memphis-based companies. Anyway, these guys really understand the fundamentals of cattle. They really talk to a lot of people. And what, yeah, after Trump put out this tweet, the comments on Twitter were just amazing. I wish I could just snip every one of them and make it a pop-up. I just didn't have time. But one I read to you before was the one guy wrote, and he said, "Didn't calm down, everyone? Didn't you read at the end? I love He says he loves us and that he loves the rancher. Well, yeah, he does, but it's going to come at a price. This one's going to hurt. Now, when you look at the charts, or when we look at the charts here in a little bit, the damage hasn't really. This is nothing. I don't know how to say this, but compared to what happened to copper a few months ago, where copper had like a 20-some% move in one day, we're still moving in percents. We're moving in 3%, 4%, 2%, 3%. It just feels like a lot because we're trading 370 cattle. So when we go down $9, we're barely down 3%. Copper moved 20% in a day, and it's moved that way both ways on tweets. So just don't think if you're, because you're a rancher that you get away with this. I think what upset people so much, Joe, is that the tone of the tweet was just horrible. And if you're out there, please drop us a comment. I know I tweeted that, and I saw Mackenzie. She was one of the first people to say something. She posted something on her Facebook. She's extremely upset as a rancher, and there's a lot of people who are upset. But the arrogance of it, that the only reason cattle producers are making money is because he put a tariff on Brazil a few months ago, as if we didn't have droughts back to back for years here in the United States, as if we haven't had demand, as if we're not producing a great product, as if there's not great demand. I mean, it's just pure like, I saw one rancher say, Joe, He said, I didn't go to the No King's Day march, but maybe I should have because this is ridiculous, right? So people are pissed off, especially in ag. Now, one thing to note is I did tell my wife, President Trump is not running for reelection. At this point, I don't think he really cares what you think. He's already got the job and we'll be okay. So, it's probably more of a JD Vance's problem, or like I did notice on the internet, people said, boy, if you're a Republican anywhere in the ag sector coming in for midterms, you got to be shaking your head saying this is going to leave a mess. But moving forward past that tweet, and by the way, we have 300 people joining us, and we are happy to say welcome aboard. And if you missed it in the beginning, we were just saying our new website's up, www.agbull.com. All right, so Trump puts out the nasty tweet. What comes after that? I was in a meeting in the suburbs, and my brother said, hey, did you see USDA announce something? And this is what they announced here. Let's read over this, JoJo. Brooke Rollins pretty much came out with a 3-point plan with a couple people we know. USDA is announcing the plan for American ranchers, consumers, a strategy to rebuild our cattle herd and lower prices. They're going to protect and improve the business of ranching. 5 million acres of grazing access alongside enhanced disaster recovery tools, support for new and young ranchers. And they're going to ask the one and only Doug Burgum for help. They're going to pull Doug Burgum, former governor of North Dakota, very accessible guy. When I was up in North Dakota, nice guy. Bumped into him lots of times, and his kids up in Fargo, nice enough guy. So he's going to take care of part one. All right. Then we move to part two. Expand processing, transparency, and market access, cut inspection costs by up to 75% for small processors, relaunch with massive campaign to enforce product of the USA and labeling to ensure consumers know when they are buying American beef, only born, raised, and slaughtered in the U.S. allowed. Boost processing capacity and real jobs. Who's going to take care of this? The one and only Kelly Loeffler. Now, little side note for you out there, you home gamers. Google, I want you to do this. Google who Kelly Loeffler is married to, and then answer here in the chat what exchange is her husband, does her husband chairman and own? Talk about markets and political clout. But Kelly Loeffler's from Bloomington, Illinois. A lot of the folks my previous work were friends with folks of her family. I hear good things about Miss Loeffler. Let's see if she can get done. Step two. Step three here, we're going to hand that to Secretary Kennedy. Grow the domestic herd, long-term demand, increase farm-to-school protein purchasing, advance protein-focused dietary guidelines with Secretary Kennedy. And then we got the strong muscle emoji. Anyone who knows me knows I love emojis. Build demand alongside supply to stabilize prices. And then she ends, or her people end, who wrote this. We will continue to work around the clock to support our ranchers and ensure families across the nation can eat quality American beef, the very best in the world. Sounds fair enough. Now, with that, how much lower will we open tomorrow, or will we open lower tomorrow? I don't just think it was a tweet that might scare the market. I think it's they're taking action. Now, in all fairness, they told us about this before. He said he had a plan to lower beef prices. The problem is, I think there's a whole group of people who were hedged, who aren't hedged anymore, who were hedged, who blew out of hedges, who haven't ever been hedged for years. We're on this is now, according to Mike Sands this morning in the meeting. Joe, I don't know if you listened this morning, but he said we've had 3 back-to-back really successful calf crops, and he doesn't ever remember that really happening in history, with this last calf crop being the most profitable ever by almost double or triple what the first few were the last few years. So there's been big profitability. And most of that came from the Biden administration, not President Trump's administration. So you got to call bullshit when you see bullshit, people. Oh, speaking of saying hi and thanks, 375 people watching tonight. Well, listen, light up that comments and drop a comment. And if you want to drop a comment on X or YouTube or whatever, we'll do our best to try to answer it. All right. That's what we got out of Trump. That's what we got at the USDA. Want you to ask questions. We want to tell you like and subscribe and all that other BS. We want you to do all that. Now, with that, we have stuff like Trump and Putin. That's why I was telling you crude oil's up $1.35 today. There's some things going on there. Let's look at, let me line up my charts here. We're going to look at some daily charts. Is the big bull market in cattle ruined? Let's bring our next guest on the stage. Brother Joe's there, half asleep. I'm there. And then we got the star of the show, cattle. Let's bring him on here. Okay. So here's a daily chart of cattle, green line for you home gamers at home. The green line is 50-day moving average, and the red line is the 100. I want to run the disclaimer just so you could see it. So we let you know who we are, what we're doing. But then after that, I'll get rid of it so you could see the prices at the bottom. We are still in an uptrend. And anyone with who knows anything about charts would say, as Dennis Gartman would say, bro, we're going from the bottom left to the top right. Not a whole lot's changed there. And when you look at these wiggly lines, it's not uncommon for us to test some of this. Look back here. When we tested this, look at just not too long ago, we tested this. And then this is that rocket ship out of here when we went up $20 in, or this is live cattle, but we had that big week. Now we're coming. Green line 50-day, red line 100. I did look, we did penetrate the 20-day moving average in both the live cattle and the feeder cattle. Now, I'm looking at October here. I want to move to November because Octobers are starting to go bye-bye. Now, pretty sharp down move, but again, folks, we just had this big $20 up week here just a week and a half ago, and we're about, I don't know, 2/3 the way back. But cattle have fallen so hard that they are where they were October 6th. I mean, Trump tweeted and put cattle right back to where they were 2 weeks ago. And they're just a tiny bit below where they were just a few weeks ago. Now that's where they are now. If they were to go down $10 tomorrow and we closed, and that is very possible because we have expanded limits. We limit down was like $9 and something. I think limits tomorrow.
9.25.
Yeah. So what's half of 9.25? 4 or 5. You know, we're looking at a $14 limit. You know, $13, $14 limit. Call it that. You know, you got your limit and a half. So we go 360. Say we closed at 363. We go down to 353. We can close legally, and then we can trade synthetics and the options and stuff. We can trade down to 350. Now, what will wake some people the hell up is if we were for some reason to gap below the 50, bro. I've seen that, you know, the S&P do that, especially during the S&P did that during the pandemic. It just gapped massively below moving averages, and you know the big money where they say if it goes below this, I'm going to get out. Well,
Yep.
when it massively opens below it, it forces a liquidation. So
And it starts heading towards the 100.
yeah, keep an eye on the feeder. Let's look at these GNs. Let's just go back a little bit here. Still phenomenal prices here. We're 50, 60, 70, 80 above where I noticed people aggressively wanted to be hedged. I'd say anything around 310, 315 is when people really said, I got to get some hedges on. And most people have wrote them up. Some people have since taken off the hedges because they've sold the cattle. Heard of some cash trade today. Cash trade was still pretty decent there. No problems there. I did want to see if I could pull that gold chart up. Gold's had a vicious move, but at one point during the month here, gold was up over $1,000 for the month of October, starting off at oh, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but gold was putting up $1,000 move for the last 40 days, maybe not the last 30 days, and gold's taken $400 off the move. And that we had that big move last Thursday night, bro. We had that move in gold where we did the up 80, down 40, then back up 90, and then down 100 late into Friday's close, and that's when this cattle market started to get volatile. But overall, strength in stock, strength in gold, strength in silver. So when I look at the charts and you just start looking at the moving averages, if you're just looking at the trends, your friend, cattle are still trending up. Feeder cattle are still trending up. Gold's still trending up. Looking at silver real quick, silver had a massive move. Also, same thing. Silver $5 off its high, still above the 50, still above the 100 here, and doing okay. Looks like we have a comment. Oh, Young Sawyer Satcham has a comment. We'll get to him in a little bit here. Okay, gold trending up, silver trending up. Joe, let's look at corn. Let's look at Dee's corn. I think this is it's in a little bit of no man's land here. Folks, we did let out a video the other day. We did a video with Kerry Artek. That's over on the premium side, and he talked about soybeans and the spider being the S&P. Some of his technical levels have just hit in the spider. Corn starting to trend above the 50 and starting to move, touch that 100. I think soybeans, he also said, we're breaking
Yes.
out to the upside. And look
Yes.
at this. This is what Kerry Artek talked about in the Ag Bull video.
We're actually, Tommy, we're
Yeah.
5 cents above his level, which was 1032 in Nove.
Uh-huh.
He said if we get above 1032, we could run to the upside.
He said like 1080 something, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, granted, the November's going to run out of time, bro. And so we have to look at the active contract because the November is going to turn into January. And I don't want you to think, folks, there's carry. I don't want you to think all of a sudden we jumped. See how we're already trading 1052 in January?
Yes, sir.
He explained in his video how he does the daily continuation on the active, right? Because
Yep.
he said we're going to roll from Nov to Jan, and that very much changes the chart guy's patterns there. So he had levels on spies where he said we were hitting resistance. He talks in spies, I talk in S&Ps, but he said the SPY is the most heavily traded of anything on the stock exchange. Of course, you hear stocks like NVIDIA or other things heavily traded, but that's that. So we got corn trying to go up. We got beans going up. Wheat, a dog, but trying to do better. Look how much below these moving averages. You talk about the trend is your friend and that cattle are still in an uptrend. Look how miserable Board of Trade wheat is. Let's just add some more misery. Look how miserable Kansas City wheat is. We had some people, I had a client in North Dakota buy Minneapolis wheat, and he sold Dees 26 corn. He said there's no way he could plant wheat with corn at these levels, and so he was just going to do it as a spread. And he bought the Minneapolis wheat and said he'd sell his Dees 26 corn, and that the wheat was just too cheap. Now that was his opinion. So when we give the old futures and options have risk. What else do we have before we go tonight? I want to look at gold real quick here. I'm going to switch this to this is a daily, but I just want to show you on an hourly chart. Gold had a big update yesterday when the United States government announced they're filling up strategic reserve. And then gold, I'm just going to hit the most active. I don't know if that's December now. We just rolled off a contract. Yeah. And so gold's had a nice little pop from 57 to 60. Doesn't sound like a lot, but every
Tommy,
50. What's that?
crude oil, not gold.
What's that?
Crude oil, not gold.
Do I keep saying gold?
Yes.
Well, it's black gold is what the commodity traders call it. Black gold. From a percent, bro, every 57 cents is a percent. So you move $1.50. To keep this in perspective, because I know everyone's freaking out, crude oil had as big of a move up tonight as feeder cattle had as a move down. Feeder cattle went down 3%, right? Crude oil gapped open 3% higher tonight. Ain't nobody batting an eye about it. Feeder cattle go down 3% on a Trump nasty hurt my feelings tweet, and everyone's going crazy. All right, with that, let's get to the bonus round here. Let's remove that, and I will add myself there. And with that, all right, Mr. Sawyer Santrum, what's this question, bro?
How big do you think this Argentina plan is? Not a good look making this deal while calling out the American rancher. Do you think there's a plan to smooth things over in the short term, or is the damage done?
Well, great question. They announced the plan. It was for 80,000 metric tons, right? Which is 4 times. I have that here. It's 4 times the amount that they normally do it. So, of this headline right here, U.S. seeks to quadruple beef purchases from Argentina. They're looking to do 4 times as much, which was 80,000, of which of the normal quota, we've only filled part of it this year. So, it's not like we go gangbusters to get this stuff from them. We haven't done that much, and we don't normally buy that much from Argentina. Now, granted, if you want to see cattle go down, have Trump meet with Brazil and immediately pull off those 50% tariffs. That's game over, because that tariff has just killed us. And again, talking to the folks I talked to at Nesvick in that morning cattle meeting, we get so much meat from Brazil, and a lot of times you're going for a burger at a burger place, and those burgers may be eating a burger, and who the hell knows where that came from. It could be coming from Australia, it could be coming from Mexico, it could be coming from Brazil, but there's a really good chance right now when you eat beef, it's not coming from Argentina anyway. And beef is starting to flow in through, they say that some of the beef is coming from Brazil into Mexico and back up to us, but nonetheless, they're trying to talk down these beef prices. But Sawyer is right. He really insulted a lot of people today and a lot of ranchers, as if like I made beef prices go up. I gave you this gift. Now I have to take away a little. And I'd say Mother Nature and demand, and just the overall for you home gamers out there, it's really important for you all to remember how low beef went during the see if I can get it, the most active contract during COVID. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to bring back in the chart real quick, bro. If you want to know why beef prices are so high, you got to go to why back here, everyone. If you want to know why beef prices, this is crude oil. Let me go to beef. What happened during COVID was just mind-boggling. Just mind-boggling. When did the big badass bull market in beef start? Right here, when they stuck it to the ranchers so bad, they said, we pretty much, let's just call it what it is. We went no bid. I mean, there was times when ranchers didn't know what they were going to do with their product. There were hogs that were just slaughtered and burned in areas. There was a disaster. So prices in cattle, expensive was 130, cheap was $1, and then we went to 84. But I think front month actually went cheaper than that. When did the big bull market in live cattle start? When we destroyed ranchers in 2020. Okay, and we went all the way up from 2020 up to here. Now we're coming back. Look at, on a monthly, we're not even coming down yet. We're so far up on a monthly. We're not even coming down yet. But this bull market was so big. It's so big. Let's see what feeders look like from going all the way back from the pandemic lows. This bull market started during COVID. We stayed sideways 17, 18, 19, 20, and the damage we did financially to people. Because how do we have the smallest cattle herd in, what's the number, Joe? 71, 72, 74 years? It's because we put so many damn people out of business here in 2020. So the ones left, yeah, they deserve the success. They deserve all the success. But President Trump didn't make them successful. Not at all. I mean, to see these feeder cattle prices went from $1.20 to 380 is just unbelievable. All right, that's that. Hey, we'll keep it open for a few more questions, comments, anything else. Those are unbelievable. I'm glad I pulled up those monthlies. It just keeps everything in perspective. What a bull market
Tommy,
is.
do you
Yes,
remember
sir.
why that exactly happened, really? Grocery.
Why we went down so hard?
You had like every restaurant under the sun closed.
Yeah, the packing
So
plants, the workers at the packing plants got sick with
Yep.
COVID, and they didn't have they couldn't process the animals because there was
Right.
literally, Joe, when they process beef, they stand next to each other like players in a dugout of a baseball game. And so if one person, like, you know how you got a cold right now and you said you went over to someone's house, they sneezed, you're sick. Well, with
Yep.
COVID, whether you thought it was real or not, people got it, right? Call it the flu, call it whatever the hell you want. But it went through those packing plants like you've never seen. So they had so many people sick out of work that, and it wasn't mandatory they couldn't work. They were in that force. What was it called? Essential workers,
Essential
right?
workers.
Right. But the restaurant industry just slammed shut. And then all the beef and pork and everything we used was for home consumption, and it
Yes.
just, America shut down, right? It
Crazy
was
part was the
what's that?
highline beef, fillets, ribeyes, strip steaks, highline beef was so cheap at the grocery store because restaurants were not buying any.
Right.
I
Right.
bought
I
a
remember a
fillet
client of
one
mine saying
$10.
you could literally go to the packing plant and buy cases and cases of strip steaks, ribeyes, fillets, like probably almost a third of what they are now. I don't want to misquote that. Yeah, unbelievable. So things change. Why are we at record high beef prices? Because of COVID. No other reason. This video will probably get censored. Hey, thanks for watching. 550 of you watching. Real quick before we get out of here, we do now have premium content. We're real proud of it. Head over to the Ag Bull website, www.agbull.com. We put all our stories and videos on there. If you click on a video and you see it's locked, it's because it's premium. Jim Wiesmeyer is free. Every Friday, we do the Wiesmeyer video. We obviously, this video is free, right? But catch Jim Wiesmeyer on Fridays. He's the best in the industry. It's an absolute privilege to work with him. And we'd love to have you on the premium side. We were texting people the last few days saying the Trump administration says they got something coming down the pipe with lower beef prices, and it wasn't beneficial. It wasn't beneficial to the rancher. We had a feeling they were going to say something that was going to make 99%, or what I call them, the TikTok mommies, happy, right? When folks go to the grocery store, they want lower prices. When people go to the gas station, they want lower prices. President Trump ran on the premise that he was going to get inflation down. Now, there's other things totally running out of control, insurance and everything else. But I got to tell you from the bottom of my heart, this tweet or this Truth Social really, really, really upset people. When you watch videos tomorrow morning, I wanted to get mine out of the way tonight. This is what everyone's going to talk about. They said they got a plan. U.S. seeks quadruple beef purchase from Argentina. USDA Rollins dropped this 3-point plan with our Burgum. Kelly, did anyone Google who Kelly married? And Secretary Kennedy, we'll see what type of BS that is. And with that, we thank you for watching the show. If you love America as much as I love America, give us a call, 1-855-737-FARM. I got a couple flags I give away. Love to see that phone light up. It's been a good show. We got another minute or so before we get out of here. Drop us a comment. We see 550 people watching. Where are you from? Drop us a comment down below. Where are you watching from? Always interesting to see. Biggest news of the day here. Cattle futures down 600. Feeder cattle limit down almost in every month. October has a little stronger market there. But hey, this is still the best house in a bad neighborhood America is. If you love America, give us a call, 1-855-737-FARM. I'll send you a free flag. I hate to leave, but I got to go to bed. We got to trade some cattle market. Cattle tomorrow, I don't know where they're going to open, but it's going to be crazy. My name's Tom Grisafi. I am bullish agriculture. I am bullish America. And tomorrow's going to be a good day. We'll see you then. If you need anything, don't forget to give us a call. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.